We are now going to talk about the definition of a horse. To me, this is very important for you to understand, and it's, I think, a big struggle that people have is they get a horse. They're fairly easy to get. You can get on Craigslist. You can buy one for your neighbors. There's, horses everywhere. You can get them from the BLM and different places. They're pretty easy to get into, but for a lot of us, we don't get the education that comes with it. And that's a lot of what this series is going to be, is helping provide some of that education for you and encourage you to develop and get more. So the first thing I want you to look at is the horse, just by basics. If you look at it this way, he's an attitude or an expression on 4 feet with a spinal cord. And you might say to yourself, well, that's an awfully simple way to look at it. Like, I don't look at it that way. He's my best friend. He's my partner. He's something that fills lots of voids in my life. He's something for me to spend time with in the evenings after work and things like that. And yes, those things apply. But I'm going to show you, if you just on the surface just keep things very simple, you're going to build this relationship to a much stronger point than if you, say, clutter it with all of this extra stuff. And that's what I mean when we're going to keep this simple. A lot of people actually make this more difficult. They add more into this, and it makes things actually harder. So for right now, what I want you to just focus on, you can write this down. My horse is an attitude or an expression on 4 feet with a spinal cord. Now, what does that exactly mean? Well, when I ask my horse to do something, let's say I go to send him in a circle, or I back him up, or just any request, what I want you to do is I want you to look at his expression, because he's going to perceive that in a certain way. He might be excited and exuberant. He might run off and buck and kick, or he might pin his ears and be sticky in his feet and resist these things. And that's his expression. And I want you to learn to read that, because that gives you a little sign of maybe what's to come. Sometimes, like, have you ever asked somebody to do something and they just drag their feet? They might be doing what you asked, but they're doing it in a negative way. So if you were to say walk around the corner and leave them on their own, they probably aren't going to execute that job as well, because they never really wanted to in the first place. Compared to somebody, if you asked them to do something, they just jumped right to it, that's a whole different situation. So expression is so important with your horse, and you're going to, as time goes on, be able to change that expression. But for some of you, you have the expression you have at this point with your horse, but you need to understand what it is. Is he excitable? Is he happy? Is he over exerting himself? Is he lacking try? Who knows where it's at, but I want you to try to study and make a read of that.